Hello, everybody. It's Sunday, April 18th, and we are in our final week of online astronomy. And this is the week when we wrap everything up by looking at the big questions about our universe. How did it start? What is it made of? And just some of the very deepest questions in astronomy. But before we get to that, I have to update you on the Little Mars helicopter Ingenuity. Ingenuity was supposed to take off last week. It didn't because they had to upload some new software to the little robot's helicopter. They did that. They've tested it out. And now Ingenuity is scheduled for its flight early Monday morning. And the first video of that is supposed to be downlinked to Earth, and it should arrive here around 4:15 Utah time. So if you want to get up at 4:15 and watch it live on YouTube or on some other NASA link, that's great. And otherwise, I'm sure the video will be saved and you can see it then. But it should be pretty cool seeing little Ingenuity going up and just coming right back down again. It's not going to go far this time. This is its first flight. I think all it's supposed to do is just go, come up and hover and then come on back down again. So what are we doing this week, our final week? Our final week of class, I should say. The week after that is finals week officially. Although I'll remind you that you can take the final and the constellation quiz anytime you want to, starting right now. I've opened it up early. You can take it. You have until now, until the end of the day next week on April 29th to take the constellation quiz and the final. Those are open book, open notes, the same as all the others. You can take them twice. And please, if you haven't found the email that tells you a little bit more about the constellation quiz, please take a look for that. Also, please don't forget to do your signature assignment. It's worth 5 points out of 100. That's half of a letter grade, and it's only going to take you half an hour at most to do. So it's just a quick response item. So make sure you do that. And the due date for that is the same as the last day for the final and the constellation quiz, April 29th. Well, this week, you've studied the planets, you've studied the sun, the stars, other galaxies, groups of galaxies, and you found out how those galaxies are all flying away from each other. And this week you're going to learn how it all started out. Now, we can't go back to the very instant of the beginning because that just extrapolates further than science can take us. But we can go awfully far back. And when we do, we find out that the universe was originally very small and very hot and very dense. And from there, the universe simply expanded from this very hot, dense beginning. And everything moved away faster and faster from everything else. And that expansion from that very small, dense beginning is called the Big Bang. And it's just really amazing. It's not that like the explosion of a bomb, and a bomb goes off in a certain location and the pieces just fly off all over the place. This is not an explosion of stuff within space. This was more like an unfolding of space and time. Like a flower unfolds its petals, the universe unfolded and expanded to give us the universe we did today. And we can go all the way back. We can recreate the conditions of the early universe all the way back to about 1/1000th of a second. We can create those conditions in our particle colliders to send particles together, and that collisions makes all sorts of exotic particles that were around in the extremely early universe. And we can follow the history of the universe. At about 3 minutes is where the first atoms the first elements formed, the first helium atoms, and a couple others, species of atoms, a couple other elements formed. And atoms heavier for that had to wait to be made inside of stars and in other ways that you've learned about. But in the first 3 minutes, that's when the Big Bang nucleosynthesis happened. The very first synthesis of atoms took place then. And you'll learn how things expanded from there and how the first stars formed and how the first galaxies formed. And it's such a grand tale and such a fantastic tale that you have to wonder, is there any evidence of that? And you'll find out how surrounding us is the dim fire, the dim radiation that's left over from the Big Bang. It's cooled off. And so the temperature of that radiation is only about 2.7 degrees above absolute zero. So the universe has cooled down tremendously since the Big Bang. But still, we can see that radiation. It's called the cosmic microwave background because its wavelength is microwave wavelengths, the same as you find in your microwave oven. And you'll learn about how we've seen the cosmic microwave background and how, looking at the patterns in that cosmic microwave background, we can begin to understand what the universe is made of overall. And it's really been a joke on astronomers, because astronomers throughout the history of astronomy, all the way back to the Babylonians, thousands of years BC, ever since then, we've been studying the pretty shiny bits. And it turns out that normal matter, the stuff of the stars and galaxies and us, that's only 5% of what's in the universe. A lot more you've already learned about is dark matter. But even more than that, over 70% of the universe is made out of something else called dark energy. And that is a mysterious, we don't know what it is. We don't know what dark energy particles would look like. We're looking for them right now. But that is causing the expansion of the universe to expand faster and faster and faster, which is not what you'd expect. You'd expect gravity to pull the whole thing back together again. But no, it's expanding faster and faster and faster. So anyway, that's what's in this final module, as well as a little bit about the possibility of how life got started here on planet Earth, the one planet we know that there's life on. And there's a series of 5 videos I think are really pretty cool that talk about that. And there's also a little bit about the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. And you'll learn about the possibilities of life somewhere else. That's actually the one thing I want to happen in my lifetime, is to know that we're not alone, that there's life someplace else. And that's probably one reason I find Mars so fascinating, that if just you found even the little microbe on Mars, some even primitive life, if it's on 2 planets that are right next to each other, then the universe must be filled with life. And how wonderful would that be? So enjoy learning about that. Do your final exam or constellation quiz, a signature assignment. And I'll just take one more look here at the night sky. So let me pull up Stellarium. And this time it's different because we're facing north. Every other time I've had you facing north. This is facing south, and we're facing south at a time about 10 in the evening. And if you look up, you can see, well, take a look. Can you recognize anything? How about the Big Dipper? The Big Dipper's visible any time of year. And here it is, up here, it's upside down. You can see the 4 stars that form the bowl of the Big Dipper. And then you can see the other 3 stars that form the handle. And if you want to find the North Star, Polaris, that is the star that's right above Earth's rotation axis. And so as Earth turns, the position of the North Star never changes. So you can always find it, and it's almost directly over the Earth's North Pole. But to find that, just take the two stars here at the end, these two stars at the end of the bowl of the Big Dipper, follow them almost straight down, and bang, there you are at Polaris, the North Star. And so as time goes on, here I'll open up the time window, but as time goes on, you can see that the other stars rotate around the North Star. It's really Earth rotating, of course. The stars aren't rotating, but the other stars appear to rotate around the North Star, but the North Star stays where it is. Let me go back in time, back to 10 o'clock. And I'll just point out, you have seen or will see the Hubble Ultra Deep Field. That is the Hubble Space Telescope sat in what looks to us like a little empty patch. And it's just below here, the bowl of the Big Dipper, or above the Big Dipper if you're looking at it right side up. But here, the Big Dipper's upside down. So the Hubble Deep Field was right here. And if you were to zoom into that spot, more than I can do with Stellarium, you'd find that that little spot there was filled with other galaxies. So that's where the Hubble Deep Field was. So everybody, enjoy this final week. Again, if you have any questions about how the course is going to end, the final constellation quiz, any questions, just give me a call. We can set up a Zoom, send me an email, and I'll be happy to meet with you and to help you out any way I can. And I believe course evaluations are available, so please don't forget to do that. And this has been really interesting doing this during COVID, because even though this is normally an online class, I've had to make some adjustments. For instance, the testing centers are closed, and so I've gone to online testing. Just you can do it at home with an open book. And I think that actually worked out for the better. So I think I'm going to save that and continue doing that even when online classes begin. So I hope you all stay well. And let me say one final word, and that is something about what you're seeing here in the sky. So I'm going to move to the side. And this is, maybe you've been there, this is the great temple of Chichen Itza. It's down in the Yucatan Peninsula, down in Mexico. And I was there a number of years ago, and we wandered around Chichen Itza during the daytime. But I wanted to take a look at it at night. And so I went, and there was just a little turnstile to get in, and there was nobody there. So I just went on in. And when I went in, I saw right above the top of this temple, the constellation of Orion. And it looked something like this, except it wasn't cloudy. This isn't my photo. I tried to take a photo and it just didn't work. But this is as close as I've been able to find. Orion hovering above the temple of Chichen Itza. And I'm showing you this because it makes me think about those people who looked up at the sky and just wondered what was up there. You know, what is this all about? And I hope now that when you go out in the sky, you can still take a look. And when you take a look, you'll take a look, and maybe if you look up here at that red star, you'll know that's Betelgeuse, which is a red giant star. And you know what that means, to be a red giant star. And if you take a look also a little bit more over here, and that is the Orion Nebula, where right now new stars and solar systems and planetary systems are being formed. And so I hope that, even as the details of the course fade away, and I know they will, I hope you can still look up at the sky and still have a sense of wonder about what all is out there. So have a good experience, I hope, with your final and constellation quiz, and have a great summer ahead of you. And I've certainly enjoyed having you in the class. So best wishes, be happy, be safe, and I'll say goodbye. Bye-bye.